Oh, you are highest teas. Good day. Good afternoon, good evening. I hope all are well. Hope all are safe. Now, I just want to give like a few pointers because I don't know what the chaos to come or the chaos that probably already hit around some people. It'll be good to know who is who as far as in the in crowd, because if you get someone who has on, okay, I have on my SWAT gear, that means they're either coming for you or they're ready for action, whatever it is. Like, okay, if it's obvious and like, okay, you're obviously the ops or you're obviously the opponent. But I'm talking about to identify the ones on the inside, like your fellow brethren or your fellow nappy head or partner, whoever it is that's supposed to be on your team or appears to be on, you thought they were on your team. Like, how do you identify the snakes in that category? And just from me, just from the outside looking in or from the inside looking at all the snakes in their eyes without identifying all of them, I would say the number one will be anybody who's political. And I would say in particularly Democratic, but if you're into politics, that means you are basically bought and paid for. Bought with your own demise and paid for by your own participation, I guess. But so basically, if I'm a stone cold Democrat, that's op number one. I'm just keep it short and sweet. And if I have to explain to you, which I probably will explain to you because for some reason we don't get it. Okay, basically I'm a stone cold Democrat. So that means good or bad, I'm a Democrat, or for my benefit or for not, I'm a Democrat, or is that the right or wrong person to vote for? I'm a Democrat. So that's strike one op right there. Stone cold Democrats, and I don't care if it could be your grandma. Hell, this is probably your dad. It's probably you. Stone cold Democrat, that's op number one, as far as the fellow nappyheads. And then op number two are the content. So, what do you mean content? I'm okay with what's going on around me. I'm okay with feeding pigeons, or I'm okay with being a this and a that, or I am content with being on drugs and alcohol. Basically, if you're stuck in your ways, op number two. Because while you're stuck in your ways, you're either going to fall with being so distracted with, or F yourself up being caught in your ways, or while you're caught dicking around, maybe a proposition comes, oh, this is only one way to get out of this, or all you got to do is get the this or that, or all you got to do is do. So that means they'll be quick to throw themselves and throw you under the bus for their own survival or for their own greed, whatever it is. Their contentment, or they're not willing to do the right thing, or they're stuck in their ways, or basically them driving themselves to the brick wall, driving themselves to hell, is not making you exempt to go down with them. So, in so many words, because I'm here to destroy myself. Oh, you coming with me? And I'm gonna say op number three. And low key, I could throw this in the category with the politicians, but the overly religious too, like your Christians. And for some reason, I just want to strictly put it on the Christians, but I would just say overly religious too, because with the religions too, you're bought and paid for too. If you're so stuck, oh, I'm going to let God fix it, or I'm going to leave it in the hands of the Lord. Now, unfortunately, that is op number three. And I can probably keep going with the opposite, but I'm saying, as far as the obvious, the one that I can see, like from the outside looking in, like I said, I still have, there's a lot more snakes to be identified. But the obvious ones that we should see and we probably ignoring, because, that's mom, that would be op number three. Because, with that religious stuff, or people will kill behind that religion stuff, or will kill themselves, or whatever it is. It can be dangerous too. I want to say, like I said, I'm sure there's more, but those are just the top three on the top of my head, because that's literally what's happening right now. You can find someone that's overly political, you can find someone that's overly religious, and then the content too. Like I'm okay with driving myself to hell, or basically I'm stuck in my ways, and I'm sure you don't have to look far for people like that. But I would say those will be the top three ops, even though there's so many more. we can keep going. I don't know if I have enough wind in my lungs, but we can keep going. But from the top three that I see, now how do you identify the ops on the inside? The ones that probably will turn on you, or probably already turned on you. Just ignore the signs. Like we know what time it is. You just gotta breathe and believe what you just seen and heard. And if you are the only normal person around, then that is what it is. That's the truth. Because some people, they don't really want to know what's going on. They don't really, you know what I mean? I mean, there's nothing wrong with not wanting it to happen, but ignoring it. I'm going to ignore I'm not in this burning building, until I see the smoke, and, I don't know. But, yeah, before I get to babbling, yeah, that would be. And like I said, if you're guilty of these things, if only if you will want to change, like what can you do to actually help yourself, to actually do the right thing or do the opposite of what you've been doing that has not been working. You could, oh, well, me working 12 hours, that's to you probably the right thing, but are you benefiting at all, or are you just wasting your time? It's like, how can we grow? How can you do a little bit better than yesterday, instead of just being like, okay, I'm okay with just wasting time. How can I make myself productive in these next few minutes? If I'm just only used to wasting my time. Like, if I'm not wasting time, I am not doing nothing. But if I can just take 1 minute or 1 hour instead of wasting my time, I'm going to do something productive. That is a small, that's improvement. Even if it's just a little spick and a little speck. Even if it's just a little bit, you're doing something different outside of the box. That's not stuck on contentment, or that's not stuck in his ways, or not this and that. No matter what can't shake you, that's dangerous too. Can't nothing move me unless it's something that's twinkled in front of your eye. Like, oh, do you want to keep up? Do you want to stay in this la la land, or do you want to face it? I don't know. It can get really crazy. So that's why I was like, yeah, be careful and be mindful, be aware of people and things like that, because it's far too often and far too easy, to become this or to be around this. Because again, we do not have to look far and wide for that overly religious, overly political, and overly stuck in their ways person or people. Because more than likely we are those. I'm overly political. Oh Lordy. Yeah, and it's actually, I want to say that's the number one though. That Democratic political stuff. And I'm not saying that Republicans can't be like your Negro Republicans. I'm not saying that they're not going to be used against you either, but it's just more like, it's like knowingly or unknowingly knowing or going with the flow of the enemy. Like, I know that you don't help me, or I know you're working against me, but I support you. Or I don't see what this havoc that you call me, or I'm going to ignore the havoc that you are causing so I can support you. I don't know. It's sick whichever way you go. But keep that in mind. And then even that religious stuff. Now, I don't want to slap religion out of anyone's hands, because, do you. But just using the aspect of, okay, I'm just leaving it in the Lord's hand. And there's nothing wrong with saying, I'm going to let it go. And then just let her rip on you, or let the world have you, or, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that, but the whole, like, I'm not going to put in any work, or I'm not going to defend myself. I'm not going to do nothing because the Lord is going to fix it, the Lord's going to fix it after you walk upstairs, and then maybe the Lord will push you downstairs. Like, you got to do something in order for him to move. You got to do something. Okay. I take out the trash. You wash the dishes. I run the water. You get in. Or I build the pool. You make the rest of the patio. Whatever it is. Like, you got to do something. If I do everything, that's like, then what? And then maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's what slowed us down too. That's probably what paused us to where, like, now I'm not really doing much work, because the Lord's going to do it in about 40, 50 years. Okay. I'll babble here. Stop babbling here. All right. Have a great day. Be well, be safe.